Here's the crazy part. Strength isn't built in the gym. It's built in your head, and it starts with 5 powerful sentences every morning. Right now, while you're watching this video, millions of people are struggling with challenges that could break them. But there's a small group of people who face the same problems and somehow never break. They don't crumble under pressure. They don't give up when things get hard. They don't let setbacks define them. What's their secret? It's not what they do with their body. It's what they do with their mind. And it happens before anyone else is even awake. Hey there, incredible human. Within the next 37 minutes, you're going to discover the 5 sentences that mentally strong people tell themselves about every single morning in 2025. And I promise you this, by the end of this video, you'll understand why some people seem unbreakable, while others crumble at the first sign of difficulty. Here's what nobody talks about. Mental strength isn't something you're born with. It's something you build every single day, one sentence at a time. But here's the shocking truth that coaches won't tell you. It's not positive thinking that makes the difference. It's precise thinking. You see, 2 months ago, I got a message that changed how I see everything. Alex, a 36-year-old paramedic from Seattle, wrote to me feeling completely overwhelmed. He said, "I deal with life and death situations every day and stay completely calm. But when my 8-year-old son asks me for help with homework, I lose my patience in 30 seconds. I can save lives in emergencies, but I can't handle a Tuesday night dinner conversation without feeling frustrated. Everyone thinks I'm this strong, composed person, but at home, I feel like I'm constantly failing." But wait, it gets more fascinating. Alex isn't alone in this struggle. Recent studies from the American Psychology Association show that 78% of people feel overwhelmed by daily challenges, even when they appear completely in control professionally. That means if you're watching this with your family right now, statistically, most of you have felt like giving up on something important this week. But here's where Alex's story takes an incredible turn. After he learned what I'm about to share with you today, he sent me another message 10 weeks later. He said, "Last night, my son was struggling with a math problem and started crying because he felt stupid. The old me would have either done it for him or gotten frustrated and walked away. But I used your morning sentences, took a deep breath, and sat with him patiently for an hour. When he finally got it, he looked at me and said, 'Dad, you're the best teacher ever.' I almost cried right there. You know what? That transformation could be you. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. But first, let me destroy the biggest lie about mental strength. Everyone thinks mentally strong people don't feel fear, doubt, or anxiety. They imagine strong people have some special superpower that makes challenges easier. But the truth will blow your mind. Mentally strong people feel everything you feel. The fear, the doubt, the overwhelm, the frustration. They just respond differently to those feelings. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Imagine 2 parents dealing with their teenagers coming home past curfew. Same situation, same worry, same initial anger. Parent A thinks, "She doesn't respect me. I'm a terrible parent. She's going to end up in trouble. And it's all my fault. I don't know what I'm doing." Parent B thinks, "She made a poor choice tonight." This is a teaching moment. I need to stay calm so we can have a productive conversation about responsibility. Same feelings of concern and disappointment. Same love for their child, but completely different internal dialogue. And that internal dialogue determines whether the next conversation builds the relationship or damages it. Here's the part that will change everything for you. Your brain doesn't know the difference between what you imagine happening and what's happening. When parent A tells themselves, "I'm a terrible parent," their brain starts looking for evidence to support that belief. Every mistake becomes proof. Every challenge becomes confirmation. When parent B tells themselves, "This is a teaching moment," their brain starts looking for solutions. Same brain, same situation, different programming. Wait, it gets even more incredible. Neuroscientists at Yale University published groundbreaking research in 2024 showing that people who deliberately choose their first thoughts of the day create new neural pathways within 45 days. Think about that for a moment. You can literally rewire your brain by controlling what you tell yourself when you wake up. This isn't self-help theory. This is hard science. Your morning thoughts become your mental blueprint for the entire day. Now, let me tell you about Priya. Priya was a 32-year-old software engineer from Austin. Brilliant at solving complex technical problems at work, but every morning, she'd wake up with this crushing weight on her chest. Before her feet even hit the floor, her mind would start racing with everything that could go wrong. She told me, "I'm exhausted before I even start my day. I solve million-dollar problems at work, but I can't figure out how to not feel anxious about checking my email." Does this sound familiar? Priya tried everything you've probably tried too. Morning meditation that felt forced and fake. Gratitude journaling that made her feel guilty for not being thankful enough. Positive affirmations that her brain immediately rejected because they felt like lies. But then she learned the first sentence I'm going to share with you, and everything changed. Pause this video right now. I want you to do something with me. Think about the very first thought you had when you opened your eyes this morning. Was it about your problems? Your to-do list? Something you're worried about? Someone you're frustrated with? If you're like 91% of people, the answer is yes. Here's what just happened. You programmed your entire day with that first thought. That single moment set the tone for how you'll interpret everything that happens for the next 16 hours. That's the hidden power of morning mental programming. And it's exactly what separates mentally strong people from everyone else. But nobody talks about this next part. The biggest myth about morning routines will shock you. Most people think powerful morning routines are about what you do with your body. Exercise, cold showers, meditation, journaling, green smoothies. And while those things can be helpful, here's the scientific truth. The most powerful morning routine happens in the first 60 seconds after you wake up, before you check your phone. Before you get out of bed, before you do anything else, it's what you deliberately choose to tell yourself in those first moments of consciousness. This is where mentally strong people are completely different from everyone else. While most people are immediately reaching for their phone to see what they missed, strong people are reaching for their mental power. Let me explain exactly why this works. When you wake up, your brain is in what neuroscientists call the theta state. This is when your subconscious mind is most open to new programming. It's like your mental computer just booted up, and you get to choose what software to install. Most people waste this precious window by immediately flooding their mind with news, emails, social media, and other people's emergencies. But mentally strong people use this window strategically. They install mental software that serves them all day long. And it starts with 5 specific sentences that literally reprogram how you respond to everything that happens. The first sentence might sound simple, but it contains profound psychological power. Let me tell you about Carlos first. Carlos was a 41-year-old restaurant manager in Miami. He was responsible for 30 employees, dealing with demanding customers, tight budgets, and the constant stress of keeping a business running. Every morning, he'd wake up already feeling defeated. His first thought was always, "How many problems am I going to have to deal with today?" This single thought was setting him up to see his job as a series of problems instead of opportunities. But then he learned this first sentence. Within 2 months, not only did his stress levels drop dramatically, but his restaurant received its highest customer satisfaction ratings ever. His employees started commenting on how much calmer and more positive he seemed. When I asked him what changed, he said something that gave me chills. He said, "I realized I was starting every day expecting problems instead of expecting possibilities. That one shift changed how I saw everything." Here's what he started doing. Sentence number 1. I have the power to choose my response to everything that happens today. Let me say that again, because this sentence contains life-changing power. I have the power to choose my response to everything that happens today. This sentence might sound simple, but it's psychologically revolutionary. Here's why it transforms everything. Most people wake up feeling like victims of their circumstances. They think life happens to them, traffic happens to them, difficult people happen to them, unexpected problems happen to them. But this sentence reminds your brain of a fundamental truth. Life doesn't happen to you. It happens through you. You're not a passenger in your life. You're the driver. When you start your day by claiming your power to choose your responses, something magical happens in your brain. Your reticular activating system, that's the part of your brain that filters information, starts looking for ways to exercise that power. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by your circumstances, you start feeling curious about your options. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you start asking, "How do I want to respond to this?" The situation stays the same, but your relationship with the situation completely transforms. Try it tomorrow morning. The moment you open your eyes, before you do anything else, say, "I have the power to choose my response to everything that happens today." Notice how differently you move through your day when you start from a place of power instead of a place of victimhood. But wait, there's something even more powerful. Let me share something deeply personal with you. 2 years ago, I went through what felt like the most overwhelming period of my life. My business was struggling, my relationship ended, and my mother was going through serious health challenges. For weeks, I'd wake up feeling completely powerless, like the world was happening to me, and there was nothing I could do to change it. My first thought every morning was, "I can't handle all of this." And that thought was literally programming my brain to look for evidence of why I couldn't handle things. But then I discovered the second sentence, and instead of feeling overwhelmed by my circumstances, I started feeling equipped for them. Here's sentence number 2. Everything I need to succeed today already exists within me or around me. This sentence is based on a powerful psychological principle called resourceful thinking. When you're facing challenges, your brain's default mode is to focus on what you lack. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough experience, not enough support, not enough knowledge. This creates what psychologists call scarcity mindset, and scarcity mindset literally shrinks your ability to see solutions. But when you tell yourself, "Everything I need to succeed today already exists within me or around me," you activate abundance mindset. Your brain starts scanning for resources instead of limitations. You start noticing opportunities you missed before. You remember skills you forgot you had. You see people who could help you. You find tools that were always available. Same situation, same actual resources, but completely different perception. Priya, the software engineer I mentioned earlier, started using this sentence during her most challenging project. Instead of focusing on all the technical knowledge she didn't have, she started focusing on her problem-solving abilities, her network of experienced colleagues, and all the learning resources available to her. Not only did she complete the project successfully, but she got promoted because of how resourcefully she handled the challenges. The resources were always there. She just needed to program her brain to see them. But here's the sentence that will absolutely revolutionize your life. And I need to warn you, this one might sound too simple to be powerful. Please don't dismiss it. Sentence number 3. Something wonderful is going to happen to me today. I can see you thinking. That sounds like naive, wishful thinking. But let me show you the neuroscience behind why this sentence is so powerful. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system, or RAS. This is the part of your brain that determines what information you pay attention to and what you ignore. Right now, your RAS is filtering out thousands of pieces of information so you can focus on reading these words. When you tell yourself, "Something wonderful is going to happen to me today," you're programming your RAS to look for wonderful things. And here's what's incredible about this. When you're looking for wonderful things, you find them. Not because wonderful things magically start happening, but because wonderful things were always happening. You just weren't noticing them. Carlos, the restaurant manager, started using this sentence during his most stressful shifts. He said, "At first, I felt ridiculous saying it while dealing with angry customers and kitchen disasters. But then, something amazing started. I started noticing things I'd been blind to before. A customer leaving an encouraging note. An employee is going above and beyond to help a coworker. Even small things like finding a perfect parking spot or getting a compliment from a regular customer." Within 6 weeks, he said his entire relationship with his job had transformed. Same job, same challenges, but he was finally seeing the wonderful moments that were there all along. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist. This is about training your brain to maintain a balanced perspective. When you only notice problems, you become a problem-focused person. When you notice both challenges and wonderful moments, you become a resilient person. Wait, it gets even more powerful. Let me tell you about sentence number 4. This one contains the secret that separates people who break under pressure from people who break through to the next level. Every challenge I face today is making me stronger and wiser. This sentence is based on a psychological phenomenon called post-traumatic growth. Scientists have discovered that people who go through difficult experiences often emerge stronger, more resilient, and wiser than they were before, but only if they frame the experience as growth instead of just suffering. When you tell yourself, "Every challenge I face today makes me stronger and wiser," you're doing something revolutionary. You're changing challenges from threats into training. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you start asking, "How is this making me better?" Instead of being a victim of your circumstances, you become a student of your circumstances. This shift in perspective doesn't make the challenges easier, but it makes you more capable of handling them. And here's what's incredible. When you consistently view challenges as training, you do become stronger and wiser. Your confidence grows because you prove to yourself that you can handle difficult things. Your problem-solving skills improve because you approach each challenge with curiosity instead of dread. Your resilience increases because you see setbacks as temporary instead of permanent. Let me tell you about Maya. Maya was a 28-year-old nurse working in the emergency department during the most challenging period in healthcare history. She was dealing with overwhelming patient loads, emotional trauma, and constant stress. Most of her colleagues were burning out, and she was close to quitting. But then she started using this sentence every morning. Instead of dreading the challenges she'd faced that day, she started seeing each difficult situation as training for the healthcare leader she was becoming. 2 years later, Maya became the youngest charge nurse in her hospital's history. When they asked her how she not only survived, but thrived during such a difficult time, she said something profound. "I realized that every difficult patient was teaching me patience. Every crisis was teaching me to stay calm under pressure. Every long shift taught me endurance. I wasn't just surviving my challenges, I was learning from them. The challenges didn't get easier, but Maya got stronger." And that's exactly what happens when you reframe difficulties as development. But here's what nobody prepared you for. The moment you start using these sentences consistently, let me paint you a picture of what's waiting for you. It's 90 days from today. You're facing what would have previously been an overwhelming situation. Maybe it's a difficult conversation with your boss. Maybe it's a family crisis. Maybe it's a health scare. But you're different now. You wake up and immediately program your mind. I have the power to choose my response to everything that happens today. You remind yourself, everything I need to succeed today already exists within me or around me. You set your mental filter. Something wonderful is going to happen to me today. You reframe your challenges. Every one challenge I face today is making me stronger and wiser. And then you use the 5th sentence, the most powerful one of all. But first, Let me address something I know you're thinking. Some of you are wondering, what if I'm facing really serious problems? What if these sentences feel fake when my life is falling apart? I hear you, and that's exactly why I need to tell you about David. David was a 44-year-old construction foreman who lost his job, his house, and his marriage, all within 6 months. He was sleeping on his brother's couch, had $200 in his bank account, and was battling severe depression. When someone told him about these morning sentences, his first reaction was anger. You want me to pretend everything is wonderful when my life is in ruins? That's insulting. But he was desperate enough to try anything. Here's what happened. The sentences didn't magically solve his problems, but they changed how he approached solving his problems. Instead of waking up defeated, he started waking up determined. Instead of focusing on everything he lost, he started focusing on everything he could build. Instead of seeing himself as a failure, he started seeing himself as someone going through a difficult chapter. 18 months later, David had started his own contracting business, moved into his own apartment, and was in a healthy relationship. The sentences didn't change his circumstances overnight, but they changed his mindset, which changed his actions, which eventually changed his circumstances. That's the power of precise mental programming. And it brings us to the fifth and most transformational sentence. This is the sentence that separates people who survive difficult times from people who thrive because of difficult times. Sentence number 5. I am exactly where I need to be to become who I'm meant to be. This sentence might be the most powerful because it does something extraordinary. It transforms your present circumstances from obstacles into opportunities. When you're struggling in a difficult job, this sentence helps you see it as training for better leadership skills. When you're dealing with financial challenges, it helps you see them as education in money management and resourcefulness. When you're navigating relationship conflicts, it helps you see them as practice in communication and emotional intelligence. When you're facing health challenges, it helps you see them as motivation to prioritize your well-being. This isn't about pretending your problems don't matter. This is about recognizing that your current challenges are developing exactly the qualities you'll need for your next level of life. Maya, the emergency room nurse, told me this sentence completely transformed how she saw her most difficult shifts. Instead of seeing overwhelming patient loads as punishment, she started seeing them as preparation for the leadership role she wanted. Instead of seeing difficult colleagues as problems, she started seeing them as practice for the conflict resolution skills she needed to develop. That perspective shift didn't make the work easier, but it made her stronger. And strength is what qualified her for the promotion she wanted. But here's what makes these 5 sentences truly powerful. They work together as a complete mental programming system. Each sentence builds on the others to create what I call unshakable mental resilience. You claim your power with sentence 1. You activate your resourcefulness with sentence 2. You program your perception with sentence 3. You reframe your challenges with sentence 4. You align with your growth with sentence 5. Together, they create a mental framework that makes you virtually unbreakable. Let me show you exactly how this works in real life. 6 months ago, I got a message from Jessica, a 5-year-old teacher who was considering leaving her profession. She was dealing with difficult students, unsupportive administration, budget cuts, and parents who blamed her for everything. She wrote, "I became a teacher to make a difference, but I feel like I'm just surviving each day. I love kids, but I hate my job. I don't know what to do." I taught Jessica these 5 sentences. Here's what she wrote to me 3 months later. "I'm still dealing with the same challenging students and the same budget constraints, but everything feels different now. When I wake up, I remind myself that I have the power to choose how I respond to whatever happens. When a parent sends an angry email, I remember that everything I need to handle this situation already exists within me. When I'm having a particularly tough day, I look for something wonderful, Maybe it's a student finally understanding a concept or a colleague sharing a funny story. When a student is being disruptive, I see it as an opportunity to practice patience and creative problem solving. And when I feel frustrated with the system, I remind myself that I'm exactly where I need to be to develop the skills and wisdom I'll need for whatever comes next. I'm not just surviving anymore. I'm thriving, and my students can feel the difference. That's the transformation these sentences create. They don't change your external circumstances immediately, but they change your internal response to your circumstances instantly. And when you change your response, you change your results. Now, I want to share something I've never revealed publicly before. A bonus technique that multiplies the power of these 5 sentences. I call it the Morning Power Visualization. Here's how it works. After you say each sentence, spend 10 seconds visualizing yourself successfully embodying that truth during your day. For sentence 1, picture yourself staying calm and choosing a wise response during a challenging conversation. For sentence 2, visualize yourself confidently accessing exactly the resource or idea you need to solve a problem. For sentence 3, imagine yourself noticing and appreciating something wonderful that happens. For sentence 4, see yourself learning something valuable from a difficult situation. For sentence 5, visualize yourself growing stronger and wiser through your current circumstances. This combination of words and mental imagery creates what neuroscientists call embodied confidence. Your brain literally practices being mentally strong before you even get out of bed. The result is that when challenges arise during the day, your brain already knows how to respond. Maya, the nurse, told me, the visualization makes the sentences feel real instead of just words. When I picture myself staying calm during a crisis, it's like I've already done it successfully. Try this technique. You'll be amazed at how naturally strength and wisdom start flowing through you. But let me paint an even bigger picture of where this could take you. Imagine waking up 6 months from now feeling genuinely excited about your day. Not because your problems have disappeared, but because you know you have the mental tools to handle whatever comes your way. Imagine facing challenges with curiosity instead of dread. Imagine other people asking you, how do you stay so calm and positive? Imagine being the person others come to for strength and wisdom. Imagine looking back on this difficult period of your life with gratitude because it taught you how resilient you really are. That person already exists inside you. These 5 sentences just help you remember who you've always been capable of being. David, the construction foreman who lost everything, is now mentoring other men going through difficult transitions. Priya, the software engineer, became the technical lead on her company's most important project. Carlos, the restaurant manager, opened his own restaurant that's now thriving. Maya, the nurse, is pursuing her master's degree in healthcare administration. Jessica, the teacher, started a tutoring program that's helping struggling students across her district. They all tell me the same thing. Learning to control their morning thoughts didn't just change their mindset. It changed their entire life trajectory, their confidence, their career, their relationships, their health, everything. Because when you change how you start your day, you change how you live your life. But here's what I need you to understand. Information without application is just entertainment. You can watch this video 10 times, but if you don't practice these sentences, nothing will change. So, here's what I want you to do right now. Choose one sentence that resonated with you most. Write it on a piece of paper, put it next to your bed tonight, and use it tomorrow morning before you do anything else, not when you're facing a crisis. Practice it when you're calm, because the time to build mental strength is not when you're already overwhelmed. The time to develop these mental muscles is when you have clarity. That way, when challenges come, and they come, you'll be ready. You'll be prepared. You'll be unbreakable. And speaking of being unbreakable, let me ask you something important. What would your life look like if you never doubted your ability to handle challenges? What would you try if you knew you had the mental strength to handle any outcome? What risks would you take? What dreams would you pursue? What conversations would you have? What goals would you set? Think about that vision for a moment. Really let yourself imagine it. Because that life isn't just possible for you, it's waiting for you. It's on the other side of mastering these 5 sentences. And you know what? You're much closer to that life than you think. You're stronger than you know. You're more resilient than you believe. You're more capable than you've been told. Every single person who has ever built unshakable mental strength started exactly where you are right now. Watching a video, looking for answers, ready for change. The only difference between them and you are that they acted. They practiced. They persevered. They didn't give up on themselves. And neither will you. Because you're part of something bigger now. You're part of a community of people worldwide who refuse to let circumstances control their state of mind. People who choose strength over weakness. People who choose growth over comfort. People who choose possibility over limitation. And together, we're creating a world where more people know they have the power to choose their response to any situation. Before I let you go, I want to leave you with this truth. Mental weakness isn't a character flaw. It's simply the result of mental habits you haven't learned to master yet. Your thoughts aren't happening to you. They're happening through you. And that means you have the power to direct them. So tomorrow, when you open your eyes, remember this moment. Remember that you have a choice. You can start your day as a victim of your circumstances, or you can start your day as the architect of your response. The choice is yours. And that choice will determine everything that follows. Remember, challenges are temporary, but the strength you build by facing them with the right mindset lasts forever. You've got this. I believe in you. Our entire community believes in you. And soon, you'll believe in you too. If this video helped you today, I want to hear about it in the comments. Share which sentence resonated with you most. Share your commitment to starting tomorrow with intention. Share your vision of who you're becoming. Because your story might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And if you want more life-changing content like this, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. Because next week, I'm revealing the advanced mental techniques that elite athletes use to perform under extreme pressure. Techniques so powerful, they're usually kept secret. And I can't wait to share them with you. Until then, remember this: you are stronger than your toughest day. You are more resilient than your biggest setback. You are more powerful than any circumstance. Now go out there and show the world what mental strength looks like. I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong, stay intentional, and keep growing. Here are your 5 sentences one final time. Write them down, say them tomorrow, and watch your life transform. I have the power to choose my response to everything that happens today. Everything I need to succeed today already exists within me or around me. Something wonderful is going to happen to me today. Every challenge I face today is making me stronger and wiser. I am exactly where I need to become who I'm meant to be. Your strongest self is waiting for you. Go claim it. You've got this, champion. Now go make it happen.